Charles, I want to start with you. Biggest storyline that you're looking for as we start 2025?
Yeah, I think with that Micah trade, I think the balance of power in the NFC North has shifted.
Yeah.
I think we would all sit here and say that Detroit is the class of that division. But with Micah coming over there, this thing totally changes. And the Packers, they don't usually make moves like this, right? I was watching Michael Irvin on one of his shows, and he was like, Micah Parsons, Micah Parsons ain't going nowhere. And then almost immediately after that, Micah Parsons is traded to the Green Bay Packers. And when I look at the Packers season last year, they lose to Philly early, right? And then all of their division games, they lost. They didn't win any division games. And against the Detroit Lions, who won the division last year, 2 sacks in 2 games. Well, now we get a guy that is a specialist on the defensive side of the ball and getting to the quarterback. And so when I look at this division, yes, Detroit was the team, but now that the Packers just traded for Micah Parsons, Green Bay is now the favorites to win the NFC North. And I stand on that.
And that was a defense that was already tough. They were ranked 5th in total defense, even without Micah Parsons.
Without sacks against Philly, Minnesota, Detroit, and their division teams.
Circle week 4 on that schedule because Packers go to Dallas for that game. So it's going to be entertaining nonetheless. Jules, what are you looking at big picture for this season?
Yeah, big picture. I was sitting last night with my cleats on while I fell asleep in my bed, and I was dreaming. We have the Tom Brady of this generation quarterback. That's Patrick Mahomes. He's won a bunch of games. Then I kept dreaming. I'm like, who's going to be the Drew Brees who sneaks a Super Bowl, or Aaron Rodgers who's still active who has a Super Bowl, Big Ben or a Peyton Manning who snuck 2. We have so many exciting quarterbacks this year. You have the Jaden Daniels, who's going into his sophomore year. You got Jalen Hurts, won a Super Bowl. Is he going to be the Big Ben who gets 2, or is he going to surpass Patrick Mahomes? You got Jared Goff out there with a complimentary football team that's been making noise. Justin Herbert, 2 days ago in Brazil, knocked off Patrick Mahomes in a division rival.
So much, yeah.
Week 1, that's a twofer right there. Like, is he going to get over the hump? There's so many great quarterbacks in the league. Josh Allen,
Lamar Jackson,
Joe Burrow. He's in all black, looking like Johnny Cash while he's walking up to the stage. There are so many really good quarterbacks right now. Who's going to be the next guy to challenge Patrick Mahomes?
Well, you bring up Patrick Mahomes, and that's what I look at for this big season sort of preview. Is the Chiefs are still the king, in my opinion, of the AFC until someone knocks them off the throne. You know all about that, being in New England, right? You had 11 straight division titles. Kansas City has had 9 straight division titles, albeit they lost to the Chargers in Brazil the other night. But they also lost week 1 back in 2023 and went on.
Yeah, but I don't think they gave us the confidence 2 days ago like they did in previous seasons.
Everyone said that last year with all those one-score win games. You know, they had 11. They were 11-0 in one-score games.
But this game here played out a little differently.
Sure. My thing is always this, though. Patrick Mahomes, he's never started the season 0-2, and until somebody knocks them off, they're still the crown of the AFC. But we'll continue to watch that, of course, all year long. All right, let's go a little bit more specific. Jules, week 1 focus quickly. What is it for you?
Yeah, there's a lot of division games in week 1, that's a twofer. You win this game, you're putting your team ahead of the other team by 2 games in the division. A lot of division games. I'm going with the 49ers and the Seahawks. How's Brock Purdy going to react to being a really high-paid quarterback? Is Ricky Pearsall going to step up and become a receiver that they need him to be? Let's jump over to the Seahawks. Sam Darnold. Is this the Sam Darnold of last year with KOC and the Minnesota Vikings, or is it the Sam Darnold of the New York Jets who sees ghosts because he has to play against Saleh today? A lot of great storylines going into this game, and no one's really been talking about these 2 teams, and I think this division, the NFC West, is going to be super competitive.
Love it. Charles, for you specifically?
Yeah, for me, I think what's going to be a reoccurring theme on this show is Travis Hunter. I mean, of course, there's all the comparisons to me playing both ways, but when you look at the way that kid played, it was different than what I did. He played every snap almost of every football game, so different than what I did. But for me, people ask the question, can he play both ways in the NFL? Meaning, can he play all the snaps?
Yeah.
I think that's the wrong question because we've seen him do that. In college, he did it. But my question is, I want to see how much they play him today and how effective he is playing on both sides of the ball, because this is not Colorado anymore.
At this level. It's
At
the
this
NFL.
level, on the other side of the ball, there's NFL talent everywhere on both sides. And so I want to see if he could play at a high level on both sides the way that he did in college.
Well, you mentioned talent, and all I could think of is the guy that I'm looking at right across this studio over here. He's going to get us in the know, brought to us by Jersey Mike's all year long. It's Jay Glazer, ladies and gentlemen.
Jay?
Thank you.
Glaze.
Hey, now that I'm on the show, I think the demographic, women 75 to 96, can go through the ceiling. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome.
Wow.
You like Travis Hunter, are a two-way player. You're going to be with us and also next door.
Double dipping.
But fill us in. Huge storylines, as we just outlined some of them throughout the summer. But I know one in particular you were very close to, news of Aaron Rodgers going to Pittsburgh. You spent a lot of time with him in the offseason.
Yeah.
Explain.
We actually trained together this offseason in a place called Proactive up in Westlake Village. But the interesting thing here is Mike Tomlin pretty much has Matthew Stafford to thank that Aaron Rodgers there. Let me explain this. Early on in the offseason, it didn't look like Matthew Stafford and the Rams were going to be able to work a deal out. At that time, they started talking to teams. I think the leader of the clubhouse was probably the Giants. If Stafford left, the plan for Sean McVay was to sign Aaron Rodgers to be the starting quarterback here with the Rams. So again, he's got Matthew Stafford to thank that he ends up doing a team-friendly deal.
Yeah, for me, I'm thinking about Micah Parsons and the Green Bay Packers. In 2006, I was a free agent, and Green Bay Packers were the only team that wanted me. How did it come to fruition that Micah ends up in Green Bay?
How are they the only team that wanted you?
20 years later, I'm still trying to figure it out, Jay.
Hey, memo to every other team, you whiffed on that one. As far as the Green Bay Packers, they actually showed the most interest the entire time. And I'm going to have a lot more on this on Fox NFL Sunday. But they were really the leaders in the clubhouse. They were very, very aggressive. And obviously the Cowboys didn't want to train them within their division. But the other interesting part of this is Jeff Hafley, the defense coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. He actually, in the last week, have reached out to Dan Quinn, who is his defense coordinator, Micah Parsons with the Cowboys, and James Franklin, the head coach at Penn State, say, give me some tips. What do I need to know to get the best out of him? And both said the same thing. Make sure you challenge him. If you challenge him, you could do so many things with this guy, and the sky's the limit.
Doesn't want to be bored out there, and he won't be.